What is the United States economy going to grow at this year?
You know, there are no oracles in economics, and it's still a pretty uncertain world. But I think the conventional view of the U.S. now is that we're growing between 2% and 3%. And I think that's a realistic outcome for the United States economy, as long as we see a little more progress in Europe, and as long as we don't see a lot of risk come from Iran on the oil front.
That scenario of 2 to 3% growth seems a little different from what Ben Bernanke thinks growth is going to look like. If you read the statement the Fed put out, it was very bearish statement. I mean, to be willing to almost guarantee that rates will be kept where they are until the end of 2014 suggests they don't see any growth, of any robust growth for a long time. Are they wrong at the Fed?
Well, you know, I'm not a forecaster, so my view is not worth much. But I think actually if you look at both the Fed's forecast and the consensus of private forecasters in the business community among economists, people are pretty closely clustered in that area. But it's still very dependent on how the world unfolds. Again, I think it's worth recognizing that, you know, we still face tremendous challenges as a country. We're still repairing the damage caused by a devastating financial crisis that still have huge lasting impact on the basic fortunes of most Americans. Unemployment is still very high. Housing is still very, very weak. Construction is very weak. People still have too much debt. They're bringing that down, and that's still going to take a while to repair. That crisis came on top of a decade, as you know, where we saw virtually no growth in median income, very high levels of poverty in this country, very high levels of inequality, and a erosion in people's confidence in their mobility, their prospects over time. And on top of that, of course, we face a more challenging world. You know, just last year, the combined effects of oil, Japan, and the crisis in Europe were, and the damage the debt limit debate caused the United States to confidence. Those things were very, very damaging, and they slowed growth everywhere around the world at a time when, again, the world was still healing. So we have a lot of challenges ahead in the United States, and we're working very hard to try to lay the foundation for the political consensus it's going to make progress in those things possible.